Hey everyone, in this video I want to discuss repeating the past. This is something that many people know they should avoid, but they often don't really listen anyway. Because all of us kind of know at the end of the day, when you repeat the past, you're going to get exactly what you signed up for, which quite often means wasting your time and energy. Or it could even mean repeating past mistakes and never learning from them because you're doing the same thing over and over and over again without growing and maturing and learning to stop doing that. But a really common example of repeating the past that many people fall into is going back to an ex, someone that they were previously in a relationship with, and things didn't work out for whatever reason, and then they try to make things work again. And well, it's difficult to find people that you can build strong connections with. Usually if it doesn't work out one time with someone, repeating the past isn't going to make things suddenly mesh out of nowhere. Usually it only works if they've grown and matured, and so have you since you last saw them. But quite often people will repeat the past in such short time frames that there's no possibility that either of you have evolved from when you were previously together. I mean, there's actually someone I interact with pretty often who made this mistake, ended up getting back with an ex that they had only been away from for maybe like 7 months or so. Like, that is not a long enough time for either of them to have grown and matured to work on why the relationship didn't work out the first time. And even up to this point, like, this person will often complain to me about things that their partner does, and those were things that that partner was doing the last time they were together as well. And I'm just sitting there like, why did you decide to get back with them? You knew what you're signing up for. What's the point? But so often people just fall into this. And even going away from romantic relationships, people will get into patterns of behavior, of habits, where they continually repeat the past, where they just aren't learning from their past mistakes. So make sure as much as possible, when you mess up, when you make big mistakes, try to learn from them. Like, that's the most important thing, because if you learn from them, the odds of you repeating that mistake are going to be way less. But if you just kind of shrug it off and keep marching forward and don't take into account anything that happened and how your actions may have created that mistake and that sort of thing, well, now you're going to go forward blind as a bat, and you're basically going to repeat that mistake at some point. So it's really important to take a step back and to analyze things and be self-aware. Admit to yourself when you're doing things wrong, when you should have behaved differently, you should have done something else entirely. It's important to hold yourself accountable, because nobody else will really do it for you. And if you can't hold yourself accountable, you are not going to learn from any of your mistakes. And that's where you can see those people who just do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. And, well, I'm sure many of you have heard that famous quote. I think it's attributed to Einstein, but I have no idea if he actually said it, but it's something along the lines of, insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So yeah, you could argue when people aren't learning from their past mistakes, when they're not holding themselves accountable, that they're exhibiting like subtle forms of insanity. They're just doing things that aren't going to work, and yet they believe that they will work this time. Like, that makes no sense at all, because unless you're doing things differently, you're going to get the same result. That goes back to what I said earlier. Like, when you repeat the past, you know what you're signing up for. You know what you're going to get. It's the same thing you got before. So it's just really important that you strive not to repeat the past. Life is way too short to do that. I mean, especially with relationships, because every time you're in a relationship, what does that mean? It means you're not there to find someone who would be a better fit for you. So if you keep going back to people from your past just because they're comfortable or whatever, well, now you have no chance of finding someone better. Because even if you do, if you find someone better, that person is not going to make a move on you if you're in a relationship. I mean, the only people who will do that are people you probably don't really want to get into a relationship with, because they don't respect the fact that you're already in one. Home wreckers aren't exactly good at building a home. So, yeah. So you don't want to make that mistake. And of course, you don't want to do this with your own habits and whatnot, your past mistakes. You don't want to keep going through life never having learned from things you've done in the past that didn't work well, and then you try them again and think that suddenly things will be different this time. So Yeah. Life's too short for all that nonsense. Strive to hold yourself accountable, strive to have self-awareness, and just remind yourself, if things didn't work out with someone in the past, unless both of you, and it has to be both of you, unless both of you have grown and matured, you're going to repeat the same things you did before. You're basically just going to waste both of your time and shut off any possibility of finding people who are actually better matches for you. So just ain't worth it. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Truly hope you enjoyed this one. I know I haven't been making these longer videos as recently, and I apologize for that. I want to really do at least like 2 to 3 a week, but I've just been dealing with a lot. And also I'm traveling, as you may notice. I'm not in Los Angeles right now. I'm in Bend, Oregon, visiting family, and it's been a great time, but I've been spending all my time with family and friends, so I haven't really had the time to film a longer video like this unless I want to do it in a hotel room, but I'm sharing a hotel with my parents, so that wouldn't be ideal. And yeah, but anyway, I plan to make more videos in the future, and as soon as I get back from this vacation, I'll definitely start doing that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.